preparing to live stream the meeting. It's pretty cool that they actually have this integrated like this.
Totally. It says it's now streaming live on YouTube.
Dope. Oh. Wait, okay. All right, you ready? We're on there now, so we can go from here. All right, 3, 2, 1.
Hello again, and welcome everyone to the ROONS MIZZ Arsenal chat. I'm ROONS.
And I'm Miz.
And you know what? Fuck it. We're going to do it live. We're live on YouTube right now.
Welcome. First live stream halfway through the season. We're going to come at you weekly going this way instead, and we'll record to the channel after. I think it'll be more fun. Maybe we'll gain some interaction, and we'll figure out how to keep this going this way.
Yeah. One half of the season is over. It's been a lot of ups and downs with Arsenal. Second half, pretty much where we were in the beginning.
Yeah.
Either way, that there's a lot to be excited about. There's a lot to be hopeful for. We'll just have to see where we get to in terms of potential.
Absolutely. I think there's a lot of positive takeaways lately, and we'll get into it when we get into the transfers today on our discussion. We're looking at the Southampton's visits that we had Saturday and Tuesday. One hit, one miss, and one hit. And and we're going to discuss some transfers. We've had some interesting stuff go on. I don't know that we've seen the end of it either in the last couple of days. I think there could be another in, another out. Yeah. They seem like they're all business right now. And it's what you want to see from your club. And then we got a huge match tomorrow against United, 9:30 in the morning Pacific time.
Yeah, it's a must win for us. It's a must win for them because, they were at the top of the table by some freak of circumstance, and they have to justify that position. And
totally.
It was a brief stay, and they got Man City hot on their heels, looking very dangerous right now.
And they lost a huge match on Wednesday against Sheffield United. I mean, you can't state that they lost to Sheffield United 2-1.
Yeah, that's not the team that you want to lose to if you just got to the top of the table. It's crazy to think that they're in last place because last season they were a team nobody wanted to play, and they haven't gotten worse, I don't think. I think they're having the sophomore slump. They're not an easy team. If we were going to go play Sheffield, I wouldn't say that that's a in the bag win.
No, that's they got 8 points now. So but they're not a bad team. They're just struggling this season. They just can't, results can go bad either way. You get one loss here, 1-0. You were close to winning the game. We know as Arsenal fans that happens. You could dominate the game or be in the game and really easily lose.
And especially this season, you have a couple 1-0s that you hold out and win. You're in 10th place. A couple ties that go to 1-0 losses or 2-1 losses, and then you're in last place. So
sure. What do you? Looking back at the week that we had, Southampton on Saturday, that game was typical Arsenal in a lot of ways of just what we see.
FA Cup match.
The FA Cup match, yeah.
Yeah, I got up at 4:15 a.m. to watch it.
Same.
We passed the fuck out about 10 minutes in. Saw the lineup, was already not feeling great about it.
Yeah.
It just seems like whenever we get a good game with a solid lineup, the next game we have to change things for some reason.
Yeah, and maybe it's just that they're trying to rest people, and this is like really much harder than we imagined, but it's tough for their form. You got to imagine, like, you get into the team and you're like, dude, I just played really well. Like, how are you gonna?
And The one of the best things that happened against Newcastle, I thought, when we won, was that we started resting players because we were in a good position. We knew we were going to win, so take off Party. What's the reason to risk him getting injured or something like that? That's when you rest players.
Yeah.
But if you haven't gotten there yet, then you use everything that you can use.
Certainly. I mean, you feel like we should have gone for the FA Cup win. We're the holders. I mean, we're in the what, four? It was the fourth round, fourth or fifth round, whatever. And you got it. I mean, there's only 5 more games of it in the season. Like, try to win that one. I mean, it puts us into Europe immediately.
Yeah, and then just like there's certain things like, okay, you rest Partey because we have to rest him. He's just coming back. But like either he's fit or he's not. If he's fit, he hasn't played that many games. So if he played every single game in all competitions from now till the end of the season, if he's fit, you would think that he'd theoretically be able to do it. Now, I know that you can't run these players like horses, and a lot of times fans forget that they're human beings that are really tired, and playing all the time is really hard. But
yeah, it's not FIFA on Xbox.
Yeah, but would that game be too much for him? Maybe it would, but at the same time, it just seems like every time we get a foothold with the team against Newcastle was like, finally you put out the squad that seemed like it was the strongest squad you had, and it showed, and we smashed them, and we played the way we've been wanting to play. And then we go into a game against a tough team in a competition that we won last year, which was really it saved Arteta. It saved Arsenal. You know what I mean? We needed that trophy. If we would have gone
that was a huge boost. I mean, that's a huge boost for us, because then we ended up winning the Community Shield. All of a sudden, he has 2 trophies as a first season in charge at Arsenal, not even a full season. I mean, that's a huge for him. It might have saved his job.
Yeah, without those, during that dry spell we had a couple weeks ago, would he have been saved? No, but now he has the aura of having already 2 trophies, already more trophies than Tottenham has in the past decade. It's true though. Cup, you feel like he won that FA Cup with a lot of his own merit. It wasn't like he came in for the final and we won the final.
And we beat Chelsea in the final. It's not like it was an easy final. I mean, we had a hard match against another manager. You would have thought that Lampard would have still been around instead of Arteta, but Lampard's out, and
which is really harsh. But so that FA Cup was important, and then it just had the aura of, we're resting players, we're taking it like a minor competition. If we were playing Chorley or Luton Town or Marine or some team like that, then I would say play whoever you want. I get resting players in that situation, but it's just like with Man City in the cup. It's like, okay, either you're saying I don't care about this cup, but that's a wrong mentality to have, I think.
In general, for sure, it's a trophy.
In general,
if you gotta play it, you might as well show up and try to win it. Like, I watched the Liverpool documentary about the end of the storm. I watched it last night, and Jurgen Klopp was talking about the FIFA Club World Cup. He was like, "Do I think this is a silly competition?" He's like, "Yes." Are we going to try to win it though? Yes. We're here. Yeah.
Because if you take the attitude of, oh, we don't really care about this competition, that bleeds into the whole team. You can't just switch it on. Okay, now this is the Premier League, and we have to try to win this at all costs.
Yeah. Same with the Carabao Cup. I mean, people like this don't care about that trophy, but I think that that's an important one to go for. If you win it in January, end of January or beginning of February, whenever it usually is. It might be a little delayed this year, but it usually used to be in the end of January. You win a trophy in January, things mentally change. I mean, that in the thing last night I was watching, it was so interesting that Liverpool won the Club World Cup. They came back to the league after, and I don't know if we remember this last season or not, but they were smashing everybody after. They just came back on a high from winning a trophy mid-season that you're like, oh well, this is just an additive to kick us off.
Yeah. Well, there's this idea, even when we won the FA Cup, and then you had all the haters saying, like, it's just the FA Cup. It's just the FA Cup. But then it's about, winning trophies, winning trophies. You can't have it both ways.
No, yeah.
If it is a trophy, it's a trophy. You want to win it.
Yeah.
There's no like, that's not a big deal. Well, obviously, the Champions League and the league are the two highest. Those are the ones you would choose if you had to choose any, obviously. But
of course, yeah.
Competition, you want to win the competition.
It's disappointing. That game was disappointing in the sense that I stayed up and watched the whole thing. And once we got scored on, it never felt like we were ever going to do any damage. It was one of those games that it just wasn't going to happen for us. We had a good cup run of form in general. Like, we've played really well in the Europa League. We played decent in the FA Cup. Like, we beat Newcastle pretty well that day. It's just disappointing to see. But then Tuesday they went and turned it around again. They went back and turned it around. That match.
That was huge. That turnaround was huge.
Yeah. That goal at first, you were like, fuck. You were like, oh, is this how this is going to go today? And then.
Especially with Southampton becoming somewhat of a bogey team for us, a hard team to play against.
Yeah.
They're a decent side that tries to play good football. We
dismantled them though on Tuesday.
For sure.
They got worked. I mean, it was 3-1, but they got worked. And I mean, the kids, I mean, the team is starting to, it's like what we talked about in the beginning of the season. This team has like some very talented footballers that are very capable. I mean, notables that didn't even play on Tuesday. Aubameyang was still out. Martinelli didn't really play. I mean, we're not even firing on all cylinders. And we signed Odegaard this week from Real Madrid. I mean, things are looking bright at the moment, in my opinion, based on how we're playing.
Totally. I mean, you think about Odegaard, he's someone who's at least on Partey level. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He was
where they want to put him and all that, but just as a center midfielder and all the things that a center midfielder can be.
Yeah.
He's on Partey level. He's on Emile Smith-Rowe level.
Yeah.
Maybe higher.
You think that, I mean, I hope to see them play together. They're talking about he can play in the number 8 role and the number 10 role, Odegaard, and he likes to play out wide.
Well, that's do they consider what number 8 defensive midfield?
Kind of. I think it's more of a sat back, but that means Ceballos is number 8. That's where Ceballos would play. So I would put Odegaard in way before I ever put Ceballos in, and way before Xhaka's ever in. It's the same role, right?
I know. And I mean, if you look at it, you're like, okay, who are our 3 best midfielders who have to play center mid? Emile Smith-Rowe, Partey, and Odegaard.
That's it.
Even if you could have,
that's it.
Like, whatever. Like, he just came from Real Madrid. If we're going to take a signing of his caliber on loan for 6 months, you don't bring him in and ease him in. Like, throw him in there.
Dump him in.
There is a chance.
Play him against United tomorrow.
Yes. There's no reason why he shouldn't come right into the team. If we had Vieira in there, Vieira, Partey, and Smith-Rowe, then it would be like, okay, what do we do? But we have Xhaka in there. And I'm worried that and it's going to be Xhaka, Partey, and maybe Smith-Rowe, or Smith-Rowe is going to be the one who has to be sacrificed so Odegaard can play the 10 because he's a creative midfielder and blah, blah, blah. It's like, and somehow we're going to have to sacrifice a good player so Xhaka can be the person in the midfield again. You know? Like, get the fuck out of there.
I was reading on Sky Sports, they're saying that Odegaard, they're thinking he's going to play number 8 or 10. And they're like, it's going to give Smith-Rowe competition. I agree, but Smith-Rowe has earned his position in the team at this point. I think he's probably one of the first names that Arteta's putting down on a team sheet right now because the games are different.
You'd have to be. Just look at pure results on the field.
Yeah. I mean, even the other day, it doesn't look like he's always so involved in everything, but that is part of it as well. Like, he is in positions, getting the game moving forward always, and that is it can't go unnoted. He's a baller.
If anything, if Odegaard starts in the creative center midfield spot, then Smith Rowe should take Xhaka's spot.
Yeah, because he can play box to box and he can play deep.
Totally. He can defend.
Agreed.
Like,
And
I'm
then
not worried about
we have
him not
another
playing defense. He's not
exactly.
like just
Yeah.
floats up at the top and is like, I'm not going to track back. And if he was playing center mid, just as a traditional center mid, box to box, then he would know that he has to defend. And
he's a creator. So like you kind of get like a best of both worlds. You know that he's going to create going down when he's attacking, and he's going to get back because he worked super hard. Odegaard, if he's more attacking, agreed, play him in the more attacking role, and they kind of can flop positions there.
I'm just really worried that we're going to see Xhaka somehow beat out those three players. And
totally. Well,
annoying.
One thing from the Southampton game that I think is getting more notice in every game that he plays is how good Partey is. The guy is strong. Yeah, his presence in general, and he's just so like we've talked about. He glides out there. He's moving effervescently across the field. Like he gets the ball. Like there was one on Tuesday where he like took the ball back, rotated, slid around, and kind of just like eased through the midfield through like three people. And you're like, dude, we haven't had a midfielder that has done this in a long time.
I know he's deceptively crafty because he makes it look so easy.
Yeah.
But
and he's big and he's like kind of bow-legged, so he moves real well. Like
he looks a lot like Vieira, to be honest. Like that.
He does, yeah.
Like it looks like he's tall and lanky, but actually he's tall and just swole. You know what I mean? Like strong, but has that kind of tall and lanky physique that can just cut through the traffic. And yeah, he's been looking absolutely fantastic.
Cedric Suarez has been playing really well. I mean, for me, that guy's way better than Bellerin at this point, and you can't unsee what you're seeing with him. I mean, it's like he played on the left and was better than Bellerin on the right on his dominant foot. Cedric filled in for Tierney and was still better than Bellerin.
Totally. Yeah, and then with Bellerin getting the armband, it's like, like I hate to just harp on Bellerin and Xhaka all the time. They're easy targets, but they're not easy targets because of some reason that's outside of soccer.
Yeah, it's their ability. It's their ability and how they play. They just don't.
I've been watching this for years and saying, just like, and then Xhaka was captain, and look what happened.
Yep.
He should never have been playing, yet he was captain, and then he gets into a fight with the fans. Now it's this whole big thing. Then we got to give the armband to someone else, and blah blah blah. And then
Xhaka at least finally had a decent game against Southampton. That was a good pass, like through to Pepe. I mean, you can't praise it's just overall he's so bad. He just makes the team worse.
And it's hard because you harp on him all the time, and then people will be like, "Well, he had a good pass."
Yeah.
He did have a good pass, and maybe he didn't have the worst game all the time, but like defining things and saying, "Well, he didn't have a bad game." He didn't.
Fine. Yeah, it's like you want them to sound like how we talk about Emile Smith Rowe and being like, "Dude, he comes into the team and he just is amazing." Like.
Not having a bad game is not the same as having a good game or a great game.
Certainly.
And not having a bad game is better than having a bad game. But if that's the question of whether you're going to have a bad game, a horrible game, or not have a bad game, then you're not good enough for Arsenal. Arsenal doesn't want those type of players.
Yeah, I think, and I think slowly what's happening, I'm encouraged. We're almost to the transfer discussion and where we can get into that. But like I'm encouraged by how Arteta and Edu are starting to get some of the things moving that we've been talking about. Like Ozil's gone, thank God. Socrates is gone. They're talking about canceling Mustafi's contract before the window's done right now. He'll be gone. Players that need to be moving on should be moving on. And I think it was telling a week or so ago when he played Cedric in front of Bellerin, and Cedric had an incredible game and we balled and won. Arteta's going to notice that. He's going to be like, how do we start to like transition Bellerin out because I think he's been such a staple at the club, personality wise. I think that does bode into like the decisions. I just hate that that's part of it.
Yeah. Well, I think Xhaka and Bellerin too, their experience, you can't doubt that.
Yep.
They've played all kinds of games in all kinds of competitions. So when it comes down to it, when you look at who's available, that experience is going to weigh in their favor.
Yep.
And often does, I think. But
yeah,
getting to the point where Saka isn't an inexperienced lad anymore, you know?
No, not at all. He's been in the first team since the middle of last season.
Yeah. Emil Smith Rowe isn't an inexperienced young lad who are just trying to get, like, he's a fixture of the team right now, I would say.
I mean, he doesn't look uncomfortable out there at all.
No. Bellerin looks uncomfortable.
Yes, he does. He looks scared. They do. They look scared.
They look a little bit unsure about what they, there's certain players that I think have skill, experience, and some quality, but they have a lack of certainty in their play that slows everything down and causes problems. And I would say Ainsley, Bellerin, and Xhaka fit that mold where you can't say that there's no way you can deny that they have experience. There's no you really to say that they have no skill or no form or anything at all is going overboard. But at the same time, for their experience, you see them get the ball and you see that lack of kind of like, I don't know really what to do. I'm just going to hope this works. And that doesn't work long term. And those are the kind of players that like now we can still get money for them.
Yeah.
Do you want
for sure?
leave on
I wish that they would have gotten rid of him this window, but
yeah, I think it's too hard. Like I think they need permanent moves elsewhere to teams where they could go and actually contribute something more in line with
totally. And that's why the summer makes sense because hopefully they get a break. It's easy to resettle. Then you get training, you get a preseason, you get a chance to like work into the team that you join.
Yeah. And the January windows, I'd never put a lot of stock into it, I think Odegaard is like a very big surprise, but if you're trying to make real solid long-term moves, I mean, it happens. It does happen. We got Aubameyang, but
yep.
It's unlikely, so
we had what about one last thing from that Southampton game? That's a good takeaway is the Saka-Laka connection that was on fire.
What a great ball from Cedric.
Dude.
To take down first time on the bounce and the half volley from Saka.
Oh my gosh. On his right foot as well.
Yeah. And then
both of them, the assist and the goal were both right-footed for Saka on that.
Which just shows his quality. His quality is really coming into being, which is great to see.
I mean, he's very good. I mean, the goal that he scored, that's not an easy goal to score when the keeper's running straight at you, trying to foul you and not even play the ball. All he did was like dink it around him. And then he was like falling to the ground and right-footed, like buried that thing in while the defender is closing the space. It's a tough finish. Like,
I mean, he did what he needed to do, but it's not easy.
It's not. Right? Yeah. You could easily blow that wide.
For sure. And the thing is that it's like the way he's playing is you're not thinking like, oh, he's a young up-and-comer, like good with a lot of potential. He's already putting his potential into action. A goal and assist.
Yeah.
That's a great fucking game for a midfielder. You know what I mean?
For sure. Yeah. Yeah. I know. Lacazette, I thought we were going to have a bad day. He missed a chance in the beginning of the game that those are tough to take, but I'm glad he got a goal in the end.
Well, it was a bit like Aubameyang against Newcastle.
Yeah, he missed that sitter.
But you just got the feeling that they're doing the right things. It was a little unlucky. Like the keeper, he faked the keeper out in the right way almost, but just didn't. The keeper made a save. It was, you thought he should have scored it for sure. but
Yeah.
go eventually and get a goal back, that
And
shows
and
quality.
Pepe scoring, that's good. It's needed for him.
And see, that's the thing about, like, Pepe scored,
Yeah.
even if he didn't play all game, even if he wasn't making chances left and right, he
They got
still.
to start it. They got to start him tomorrow.
I would like to see it because I don't think Pepe. People have written him off as like some flop, and I'm like, he scored a goal. How many
Hmm.
players on Arsenal really are capable of having a whatever game but still getting on the score sheet?
Yeah. Yeah.
Aka does it once or twice a year. You know,
Hmm.
like especially for a while we were struggling to get goals. Pepe scored a goal.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
can't count for nothing.
He
Like,
he has scored goals this year, like in Europa League, and he's got a couple league goals. I mean, Lacazette's on a tear. I mean, he's having one of his better goal seasons for us so far.
yeah, and that's with the inconsistent play.
Yeah.
First half of the season, it was like Arteta didn't know what to do with him.
Yeah. I and I wonder if I saw something. Aubameyang might not be able to play tomorrow based on travel for
Yeah,
his.
because he has
So,
negative for coronavirus.
yeah. So,
Yeah,
well, transfers. I mean, we've had some interesting ins. We signed a goalkeeper out of nowhere. What we discussed. Matty Ryan is his name.
and that's a permanent or on loan.
It's on loan, but I think it's probably going to be permanent in the summer. It sounded like.
Yeah,
Odegaard. I mean, it doesn't have an option to extend,
yeah.
but what I read this morning was that they're not ruling out trying to keep him permanently. Um, and it sounds like Real Madrid would entertain that from what the report in Sky said. So, I mean,
We'll see.
that yeah, that could be interesting. We'll have to see how he plays too. I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing him play. I think he's a good young prospect.
Something tells me just with his physique, his style of play, like he's set up for the Premier League. Like those
Yeah,
Scandinavian players, there's a lot of
yeah,
Scandinavian players in the Premier League. It just kind of fits them.
yeah. Their movement, they're like their silkiness, like
And he's a big dude,
yeah,
like I don't think the physicality of it is going to be a
hard
hindrance
on him.
for him.
Yeah,
And you look back to when he played for Sociedad last year, and the dude was balling.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. He played good there.
this something like that.
Yeah.
Like
Hmm.
if he could get 4 and 4 for us, that would be a huge help. I think.
Yeah, and just all the creation that it makes. I mean, I love when you see a report like Tierney said as soon as he saw his first touch, he was like, "This kid's something special," because he was like, I think he like kicked the ball high in the air and let it settle onto his foot, and it's just like whatever he did was like, if Tierney is impressed, I think there's something there.
Totally. And I mean, the dude has been training with Real Madrid all season.
Yeah,
That's a tough.
Who Zidane has been his coach the majority of his career at
Yeah.
Real Madrid. So
Yeah.
like when you have Zidane in training, inevitably you're going to pick up some tricks
And just have that level of intensity and quality that's a
yeah,
given at a very high.
and he's that same position. He's learning from Zidane while he's there. You might he might not see him as like a Real Madrid player. Real Madrid's such a hard team to break into as a youth player.
And especially where they're at. And I think they're in the process of they need to move on from the Modric, Cruz, Casemiro, Benzema,
Mm-hmm.
Marcelo,
Yeah,
Varane.
they're like the big names.
Yeah, and it's hard to because you can't honestly say like we need to sell Modric.
Yeah, how do you
How
do
can you
that?
really say that? But at the
Yeah,
same time, for someone like Odegaard to play, you need to sell Modric. So they're just in
yeah,
a tough
yeah,
position. Eventually, in a year or two, there'll be no denial that
yeah,
Modric's time is to go, and you'll see an influx of new players in Real Madrid. Now,
yeah.
whether Odegaard is part of that, I mean, I would hope that he could be part of that. But also, if he does well at Arsenal, I would love to have him here too.
Certainly. I mean, I remember when he signed for Real Madrid, it was a big deal. It was a big transfer story. It was like this kid Martin Odegaard is 16 years old going to Real Madrid, and he's like they were saying like he's the next wonder kid. Like then they were comparing him to like Messi at the time.
Yeah, for sure. And that's a tough label to get, and it's not surprising that maybe he hasn't lived up to that, but
Yeah,
he has,
that's a lot of pressure.
yeah. And like he hasn't been a complete flop or joke either. You just see him, he has quality. You look at our midfield in the center of the park without Partey for a while, without Partey and Emil Smith Rowe playing, which you have to remember they barely played in the beginning half of the season, really.
Yeah, and I think we're just starting to see what they can do together.
Yeah, we were having Ceballos and Raka the whole time with playing the 3-4-3.
Dude, I'm sorry. Ceballos is like not good enough at all. Like he really is he's not good enough footballer. Like his touch, if you compare to Emil Smith Rowe.
Well, you know what I think too is I saw a training video of Ceballos walking with Odegaard, and Ceballos had like the shorts pulled all the way up.
Mm-hmm.
Dude is not strong enough.
Yeah,
like
he's
if you
tiny.
Want to play in the Premier League, you have to be strong, and I think that's what it's hampered Pepe a little bit. Like he needs to put on like 10 pounds of muscle. And the fact of the matter is, there has not been any time in the past 2 years where someone can add 10 pounds of muscle to their frame. They're playing every 3 days or so and trying to train on the odd day.
Yeah, so hard to do.
And that's just to deal with the fixture congestion.
Yeah, that's why they need the proper preseason. That's when you weight train. That's when you guys build up. They got like a month and a half, usually longer, from the first time they normally would show up to start running and start lifting weights.
You do a month and a half. If you start in the middle of July or maybe even like early July, give them all of June off. Go to the Mediterranean,
Yeah.
On a yacht with your girlfriend, drink some champagne.
Yeah, which they should do for a bit. Yeah, yeah.
Rich, you're young, you've worked your ass off. Even if you didn't get a minute of playing time, you've been busting your ass because playing pro soccer is really hard. Yeah. So take a month off. But when you come back in the beginning of July, it's hell week. It's 3 days. It's weightlift. It's gym in the morning, training with the ball in midday.
And we already can see that they spend their days at the training ground. They don't leave. When they show up in the morning, they're having breakfast with the team. They're training. They're having lunch with the team. They're going over drills in the discussion room, and then they're back out training again. They need all that for the entire time.
And that's how you can take a player like Pepe, and put 10 pounds of muscle on him. That's how you can take a player like Ceballos and put 10 pounds of muscle on him. And I think with those players fully fit to their abilities, not just not injured, but like in the best shape of their lives, I think they both probably would be good enough.
Yeah. I think Ceballos could be better. You're right. I think it's a physicality thing. He's like he looks off pace the whole time he's out there.
Yeah.
It's too fast for him. It's that you got to be so fit to be there.
Yeah. And he's just a smaller frame dude, like a Spanish style player, what I mean? So I don't blame these people individually for these shortcomings. We expect perfection from them, and that's too much to ask. But at the same time, it's a matter of just timing, Ceballos' loan spell is up. Are we going to renew it? Are we going to buy him?
Yeah, I think that there has to be a decision either way there. I think if you look at it in terms of, I don't think he's done enough to keep him. I would say that we just try to get another player in that position. Just try to bolster that area. Because I think Xhaka can move on too. What I'm encouraged right now with this transfer window though, and the last window, because they did make some big moves. I mean, we got Partey in the last window and Odegaard in this window. And I mean, those are two good additions in a season in the midfield where we've been asking for midfield for a long time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they are strengthening in the right areas. And, like you hope tomorrow that he plays Gabrielle, and like maybe he had a slow recovery from coronavirus. It takes people longer to get back to full fitness sometimes. So he might only have like 30 minutes in him.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, they've done some good work in the window. I mean,
yeah, it's good to see that, if Arteta was saying something like, I see Socrates in my long-term plans or something, then we'd be nervous, or
yeah.
All these
But
players.
he's trying to trim the fat. He like I think it's probably tougher than it is than like than we think. Like they have to like navigate all these situations. You just don't want to like dump the team core out in the middle of the season. So it's like Bellerin's and the Xhaka. Yeah, I think in the summertime they'll probably move on.
Well, I just see it in terms of even business. It's like,
yeah, it's time to make some money from them.
Yeah, we can let them, like, do you want to sign a new contract with them? I feel like that's another thing. Like if Arteta was like, I want to sign Xhaka to a new contract, I would be like a little worried.
Why? Yeah, because that's like a step backwards.
So you either let their contracts run out, and so they stay playing at this kind of not good enough level for another year or two and become dead wood until their contracts expire and we can finally get rid of them. Or you say, Bellerin right now is getting looked at. There's rumors of PSG. There's rumors of Barcelona.
Yeah.
How true?
He could easily go to France or Spain.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So sell him for
25.
Just 25. Is 30 too much? Depends on what
Yeah.
Probably transfer prices are going to be dramatically lower for the foreseeable future until some crazy thing happens.
Until the fans can get back and the revenues can shoot up from that again. Because as the vaccine like increases, like they're going to start opening again. They need that. They need the fans.
It's true. It's absolutely.
It's not the same without it.
How many people fit in Emirates?
60,000.
60,000 times average ticket price. Call it £30.
Arsenal's higher. It's like when I went to the league game, it was $200 US. It was £100 at the time. So,
and
it's gone up. It's gone up. I think season tickets, like the basic season ticket package, is around £5,000, and that's what Allen's on. And it's expensive. Like, and so they're losing a lot of money from ticket revenue right now.
Yeah, you got to call it 30 home games a season times 50,000, say, the average attendance, times £50 even just as an aggregate, and you're looking at millions every time they play at home.
Yeah.
Let alone the stuff they buy there, the refresh,
the drinks, the food, the merch.
Yeah, the skybox.
I mean, merch sales must be down. I mean, it must be. I mean, people seem to be buying it right now because it's quality stuff this season finally. But it's
based on my own spending, the merch sales
is up.
Yeah,
yeah, me too. I've spent more this year. That's for sure. Which I'm happy to support them when they're playing. They don't get the fans that they get to help out with the games and everything. So
here has been absolutely sick. It's been just too hard to turn down, honestly.
Yeah, I mean the season's really interesting. I'm glad that the whole table's tight. I mean, we went from before Christmas, we were in 15th, we're in 8th as of today, and
3 points. We win Tottenham. Here, I'll look at the ticket right now because
if we win tomorrow, Man United's on 40, we're on 30. We close the gap in a big way tomorrow if we win.
I know if we close it, they're on 40. We'd be on 33 to 7 points. With
17 games to go. We're halfway right now. We're at 20 games.
We're on 30. Chelsea's on 30.
And that we're going to pass Chelsea right now because they got a new manager. That's going to take a bit of time.
Yeah, it's hard to tell with Chelsea because they have enough quality that they can even
just tweak it
out there. If I was the manager and I picked the players, if I picked the players I thought were the best and I don't even know them that well, they have enough quality in that group to beat anyone, really.
Yeah, it's true. They have a lot of good players on that team.
they'll hang around just based on the virtue of they'll spend money to buy quality players.
What do you? We got a big game tomorrow.
Man United.
Is it? Are we home? Are we at home? It doesn't really matter, but
Oh,
we are at
yeah,
home.
at home. Yeah.
And
Not that that particularly matters, but
yeah, I know we've almost played better away from home a little bit this season. So
yeah. Well, I mean, we're playing United, so sometimes form goes out the window when it comes to United. We beat them before, and I didn't think we played all that well.
and we kind of beat them. We kind of beat them when we were in a weird form area.
Yeah, we were just in that kind of hovering around where we were still getting results, but not playing well.
Yeah, now we're kind of playing well.
Yeah, and let's see, they lost to Sheffield.
I don't think they're particularly that good when I watch them.
The thing about the two teams is, as I would put it, and of course I'm biased, but when Arsenal, when it doesn't work, we look out of sorts,
Yeah.
But you can almost see like this isn't working, and then when it works, we smack teams. So like there's a very clear distinction of like when it's not working, when we have the right lineup or we don't have the right lineup, but when we do, it's like
we haven't won very many games this year with a 2-goal in the score line. It's been 3 and 4 or we lose.
Yeah. So there's something you can see there where it's like, okay, if this team works, they're good. Whereas bar a couple results in the Champions League for Man United, I'm not seeing them just kind of sweep teams away. I'm seeing them get results, grind out results, which sometimes you have to do.
Yeah.
But I just don't know. And of course,
they're very reliant on Bruno. Bruno is really important to them. They rely heavily on him. And Pogba. Pogba has been performing. I think but we got Partey in the middle against United tomorrow.
I like it.
Yeah.
I think handle Pogba, he can contribute possibly more than Pogba.
And I would have to say that it's going to be a good matchup between Emil and Bruno, kind of going the other direction. I mean, Emil Smith-Rowe is
who does better,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about like Man U is that you can write them off, but they still have quality. They're still trying really hard, But
and they got goals in the team, that's for sure.
Yeah, Rashford is dangerous.
He's scary. Greenwood's good. I mean, they got Cavani. He can always get a goal.
Yeah. So
you can't count any of them out.
Not counting them out, but I still like our chances just because I think the overall, like when I see us work, is like I see a style of play that's working. When I see,
I bet they get a penalty tomorrow for sure. Bellerin's probably gonna fucking give away a penalty. You got to count on United getting one of those.
The question is, does Tierney play or not?
I hope so. I guess he has some muscle tightness because if he's out, we have to play Cedric on the left again and Bellerin on the right. I hope Gabriel comes in because it looked like David Luiz got like a little bit of a knock. I think Gabriel's the better defender.
Agreed. I mean, Luiz is dangerous, dude. Even when he'll have a good game
and be dangerous.
There'll be 2 times during the game where he does something that like
he stepped in front of Bernd Leno the other day with that ball.
No, he dummied it. He almost dummied it between Bernd Leno's legs, dude. Like,
and Bernd Leno was like, "What are you doing, man? I called the keeper." He's like going to ground already on that. It's like, what are you doing, dude?
And then he goes for it, but then he like fakes it and jumps over it. It's like,
It's almost like he was playing around. Yeah. Like he forgot he wasn't in training or something.
Yeah. There's always a chance that he's going to do something wacky.
Yeah.
So Gabriel in there would be nice. Holding's been holding his own.
Yeah, he has. He's been good. I mean, if Aubameyang's not out, I'd say start the way we started the other day.
For sure. It would
Without, I would love to put Odegaard in the middle with Emil Smith Rowe and start just
and party. Like
and
just
Partey. Give him a
again,
go.
for pure psychological effect. Like if you're Manchester United and we come at you with Tierney in the back, Cedric on the right, Holding and Gabriel, then
Yeah.
you have Partey, Emil Smith Rowe, and Odegaard in the middle.
Yep.
Saka, Lacazette,
And
and
Pepe.
Pepe.
Yeah.
I don't care about their form even. You're gonna
Yeah.
see that.
That's a good team.
Like, holy shit. Any one of these players can hurt us.
Yeah.
You know, Tierney.
Yeah. I mean, Tierney is really good.
Yeah. You see Odegaard, Partey, and Emil Smith Rowe, and they're gonna be like, fuck, dude. They're flat out better on paper than us. You know?
Tierney with him in the team gives us an extra something else that we don't normally have. We have a grit player in there that's like,
I mean, I have a theory that if you have a good left back, it
Yeah.
changes your squad because you
it
look
does. Yeah.
like when we had Ashley Cole.
Yeah.
Teams, it's very hard to set up against a very good attacking left back. How do you really plan on that? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like you have to have somehow an outside right midfielder who is very good at defending, but that's not really what you're foremost thinking about when you have outside right.
Totally. You want a more attacking player.
Yeah. And then you see something like Marcelo for Real Madrid, you know.
Yeah.
You just
look at his career.
Yeah, it's because you come at it with a different angle,
Yeah.
you know, and teams just there's no way to set up against it. Even when Saka was playing left back, and that's when he had a really good spell, you know.
Yeah.
And again, it just changes the whole way the pitch is laid out. And so Tierney exploiting that and having that grit to be a strong, tough defender, it's gonna put fear into the hearts of the managers that come up against us, I think.
Yeah. I something tells me he's not going to start tomorrow, but I wish he would. I think he's probably going to go with experience and Xhaka. But
it just, how many times this season have we been like, okay, I want to see Odegaard, Smith Rowe, and Tierney, or and Partey in the middle, Tierney on the left, Cedric on the right, you know, Pepe, Saka, Laka, you know, all these players were like, let's fire at him. And then we're going to see tomorrow, we're going to see Xhaka in the midfield, Bellerin on the right, Tierney on the bench.
Yeah. It's it. Well, and
like, oh, okay. Well,
I hope Emil Smith Rowe is fit.
Yeah, he did come off. But
yeah. Because that would weaken our. If he's not fit, you got to start Odegaard then. Like you would just have to.
Yeah, if I see freaking. As much as I think El Nenny's been good and he's a good person to come on, you know, if Odegaard gets tired, you know, like maybe he can't play a full 90 or something like that. I see like Xhaka and El Nenny start with Bellerin on the right. It's just going to be like, fuck, man, you know, like you get up in the morning, you're all pumped. You want to see, we want to see us go and attack United. And, you know, United is going to look at that lineup and be like, okay, guys, you know, they don't have Odegaard in there. They don't have Tierney's not playing today. Like, this is the time we can beat them, you know?
Yeah. Yep.
So we'll have to see. I want a string of games where we play our best team, just like a 10-game streak of play your best team.
We have been playing good, though, with a different team a lot of the time. I mean, besides the FA Cup game last week, we've been balling.
True. I mean, the general form since Christmas has been very good.
Yeah, I mean,
against Southampton.
How the stories have changed in the media now. I mean, they were all Arteta out, and now it's like, oh, is his system actually starting to work?
Yeah.
I mean, we can see when they play good. I mean, that game against Southampton's a tough game on Tuesday, and they're not an easy team. We got scored on first, and within 4 minutes, scored. That's what you have to do. They turned it around immediately.
Totally. And we've gone a long way since the days of where I was looking at the squad and I was like, who's even gonna get us out of trouble?
Yeah.
You know,
Now they kind of got like we have a lot more depth, that's for sure. Arteta's added quality to the bench,
for sure.
which is, I mean, that's why I think he's doing well. Like he's moving the right players out and moving new, better players in. Just takes time.
With the
And
exception though of Willian, still
William, I
is a
think that they know that too, but they're like, fuck, we got this guy on this contract. We're gonna try at some point he kind of has to play good, right? I think that he wants to play good. I just don't know what he's fucking doing ever.
I know. I don't know if he knows. Like
Yeah.
it
Is that
seemed like
what they taught at Chelsea? Is it just chaos over at Chelsea on the field?
they brought him in to be like this number 10, which
Yeah,
is
that
what,
runs everywhere.
but that's not what he played for Chelsea.
Yeah.
No, he was kind of waning as a winger,
Yeah.
but and then we brought him in to be like,
Did he play on the right at Chelsea mostly? Is
yeah,
that where he was at? Okay. Because I I just haven't seen him do anything really. Like it's kind of just like he just loses the ball a lot.
yeah, he's just been consistently poor.
Yeah.
Like there's players that have their form has gone up and down, but there's ups in there too. Willian just seems like we just keep giving him a chance, and it's tough. I mean, there's a couple players. I hate to say it, but Eddie Nketiah has been getting a lot of chances when there's other people who are really hungry for it, and
Yeah.
hasn't really.
He hasn't he
Really
hasn't
done.
scored lately.
Yeah, it's
I think he's one of those players that kind of needs a full game, I think. I think you know how it's easy to come on as a sub and not be able to find the rhythm of the game that you were watching.
yeah,
When you grow into the game, you kind of like you understand the flow of what's happening.
yeah,
And sometimes it's just hard to make an impact from the bench.
yeah. It's a tough
And
situation because I don't know
yeah,
if you've been following Balogun or not, but
yeah, because he wants to leave.
and he scored a hat trick in the reserves.
Yeah,
Just he was just doing people dirt. He like dribbled like four people and tucked it, and he got a hat trick that game. And you're just kind of like, I know it's the reserves, but when you see people who are just dancing through the reserves, you're like, yeah, that
oh
guy's
yeah,
gonna be great.
yeah, because those reserve players are on the first teams. They're just
It's not scrubs, really.
no, they're first team players that just can't break into the full first team. Like
Yeah,
they and what they are is you get the ones that are coming back from injury, like Partey played on the first team and the reserves for a bit.
yeah.
Like that's what happens. Like they're getting fit again. That's where they get their experience. And
It
yeah,
just because I mean, you say like, unless we sell Lacazette, you know, and Eddie,
yeah,
where's Balogun gonna fit in on this? And at the same time, like, I like Lacazette. I don't want to sell him. Balogun isn't proven, but I think in 3 years he could be one of the best forwards. It's a tough situation, and I think he's just going to end up leaving on a free, which is like,
yeah.
again, they fucked that up. Like they should have just signed him to a new contract.
I hope that they're getting this. It seems like they're trying to sort out the contract stuff with canceling contracts. Like they're willing to do that. So they must be getting tighter on how they're trying to just clean up the wage problem. Because
Yeah.
that's what it was. It's a wage problem. They
Well,
had these like fucking
yeah.
guys on this money that they didn't deserve.
When you have mediocre players on high wages that you signed for a high fee, that just means you cannot sell them.
Yeah.
No one's gonna
No
even
one's
take
gonna buy it.
loan
Yeah.
because till loan they have to pay the wages.
Yeah. I
You
mean,
know,
Kolasinac was on £100,000 a week.
I mean, to get to £100,000, you have to earn that for me. You
Yeah.
either earn it in your previous club by getting results,
For sure.
or you earn it by you were on a lower contract and you've done so well. Like for
Yeah,
example,
like when Aubameyang came to Arsenal, he deserves a high wage coming in.
Yeah, and then he deserves a promotion, which is what he
Yeah.
got. He earned
Yep.
it.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if what Tierney is on, but I would say bump Tierney up to 100,000.
Yeah. He deserves 100 now.
Yeah, like he's put it like for this season, 100,000. Yes,
And
but
Emil Smith Rose is getting a new contract or something they're talking about.
yeah, for like 40,
Yeah. Which is good for a 20-year-old.
I would have taken it.
Yeah. 40,000 pounds a week. And who's his boot sponsor? Is he wearing Nike? Is he have black Nikes on? He has like midnight boots on. They're like, yeah, I like his style. He's like scrubby,
The low socks,
the low socks,
shin
just
guard.
like murdered out cleats.
Yeah. No, he's legit, dude, and
Yeah.
just a big boned lad.
Yeah, he is. He's
like,
a big guy.
yeah, that's what you
Like,
want in your league.
yeah,
If you can get a big boned lad that has a touch,
yeah,
that's worth a premium.
for sure. I mean, Sokka straight up calls him Kevin. Like if you go on their Instagrams, like on Emil Smith Rowe's Instagram, Sokka keeps commenting on his photos and stuff. Kevin with hard eyes. I think they're like homies. They're just cool.
Yeah, I'd like to see Smith Rowe stand next to Kevin De Bruyne.
Sokka. Oh, Kevin. Yeah.
Just what the size difference is.
Well, Emil Smith Rowe's 6 foot. I wanted to see how tall he was. So he's 6 foot even, like 185 or something.
Let me see what KDB is.
Is it KDB maybe 6'2", I'm guessing?
Let's see. 5'11", 150?
What?
Yeah, I don't know.
What?
Maybe about when he was 13 or something. No, I don't buy that. That's what it says.
5'11"?
There's no way he's 150 either.
No way.
No.
So tomorrow? Manchester United at home.
This is the game where we put the dagger in United and announce ourselves as having top 4 ambitions. Because let's see, the table is Liverpool is in 4th place right now on 37.
Wow.
We're 7 points back, which is
champions.
From the champions, which isn't with. Here's who's in between us and Liverpool. Chelsea on the same amount of points. Everton and Tottenham on 33, but with games in hand. And West Ham on 35. If we can't be better than this year's Chelsea, which we smashed.
Yep.
Everton, Tottenham, and West Ham, I mean, then we don't deserve top 4.
No, I think it's obtainable. I think Champions League spots are obtainable. We're looking like we can get to Europe.
But tomorrow will be.
Yeah, they need to win tomorrow. I think we could do the double. I don't want to. I always feel sometimes our predictions are spot on, but I feel like this is the one that if you're like, we're going to beat United, we're going to lose to United. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. It depends on what Arsenal team shows up tomorrow.
I know making a prediction is a mug's game because, yeah, there's 2 teams of Arsenal. There's a team that is absolute garbage, and then there's a team that you feel like is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And even if it's a mixture of those 2, you don't know what it's going to be like. So, and Man United, a team that you can't really look past, despite I see them and I'm never really that impressed, but I know that that's not necessarily, an accurate gauge of where they're at. So I do think we can beat them. Without a doubt, we can beat them. We can beat them like we beat Chelsea.
100%.
Because that team, on paper, I would say the Chelsea team is way better than Man United.
Yeah. I think if the right Arsenal team shows up to play Manchester United, if the very best team that we have shows up, like we would beat them every day.
I think so too.
9 times out of 10, we would beat them. We just play better football. We just I think the quality is higher at Arsenal as well. They're just a team that has this ever force behind them to help them with certain things. They always have more penalties than any other club. Again, this season, they have more than anyone else. I mean, Bruno Fernandes has a ton of goals from penalties from the spot. I mean, they just seem to get extra time. They're just all, they just know how to grind out results differently. They're just a different system altogether.
Hang around even when they're just flat out not good. Like
Yeah.
this United side compared to United sides of the past, you can't even compare them. You can't,
And
which
they just let Jesse Lingard go. He's at West Ham now on loan.
really,
Yeah. That's a weird one. I would have thought that he would have been better.
I don't know what he never really got on with Ole.
Yeah.
Yeah, their team seems just ugh. Like I don't know
Yeah.
who's doing what or who's supposed to do what or I don't know.
Pogba looks like, I mean, it depends on the Pogba that shows up. He's hit or miss. He's had a couple good games in a row now, but like he does that from time to time. He'll have like a streak and then he'll
And like even when he's bad, he's capable of being good because he's that talented. So there's a lot of players like that on there. Like they're not playing their best, but they're so good that doesn't mean they're playing poorly necessarily.
Yeah.
Playing is bad or that they're easy to beat or they're not an easy team to beat no matter what. But I still think we can beat them.
I hope that we have Smith Rowe tomorrow.
Me too.
Our odds improve. I feel like he's one of those players that's like, I'll play if he's got a knock. He's not a baby.
No, and as much as it is crazy with the fixture schedule and everything, like there was a day when you could play like twice a week,
Yeah.
season long.
Yep.
And I feel like these players, they are professionals. They, like if they need to rest for whatever reason, obviously you don't play someone with any kind of injury. You don't
play. But they can play tired.
Yeah. Like if it's
something about when the whistle goes off, that adrenaline changes those tired. I mean, we've all played tired. You're not going to want to miss tomorrow's game.
Right. And hopefully we just approach it a little bit. We have a history, even this season, of approaching big games and meaningful games like they're not that big of a deal and we end up losing.
Yeah.
Like the cup games that we've approached as if they were some friendly match and then we lost and we're out of that competition, or the London Derby where it just seemed like we went out there like it was some fucking kick around and we lost when they weren't even that good. They weren't even that pressuring on us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just kind of just were like, oh, well, let's just do whatever. It's not a big deal. It's not a special game. And then we lost. And it's like, well, that's a big loss.
For sure.
So hopefully we take it with full seriousness and the lineup reflects that because we can win. 1000% we can win.
Yeah. Yeah, we can. I think that tomorrow is like a big game. It's a must win. Tomorrow gives us momentum for the rest of the season and the room to lose another game if we need to somewhere. Like we already have 8 losses, so we have to string things together. They gotta, there's another loss in the season somewhere.
Yeah, there's inevitably another loss there, but we really don't have any.
Too many to give up. Yeah, that's the thing is we need to. They have to win.
Yeah, and 7 points and 13 points is a massive difference.
It is. And psychologically, you're getting closer.
Totally.
Because then that puts pressure on who's ever ahead of us this weekend to perform. Like Chelsea need to win.
Yep. Chelsea, Everton, West Ham, and Tottenham. And Tottenham just got spanked by Liverpool.
Yeah.
And Harry Kane. Like every team ahead of us has it in them to slip up, except for maybe Man City. Man City might just run away with it.
Yeah.
Looking at.
Yeah. I think that they're gonna win it.
They look fully settled.
They do.
Yeah. A fully settled, confident Manchester City is scary. You know,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
don't even have momentum. They play,
They look on a mission.
yeah. So they
And
might.
we play them soon.
God, for what this will be the 20th, 21st time we've played Man City this season.
I know.
Like, can we stop playing them, man? They're a hard team to play against. If you can scrape away with a win, that's good, but that's not gonna happen a lot. And if you come on an off day against Man City, they will smack the shit out of you.
Yeah, for sure. What's the score tomorrow?
I'm gonna say 2-1 Arsenal.
I'm gonna say I agreed. That's exactly what I'm thinking.
That's an optimistic hope. I think it's possible. I feel like there's probably a goal in Manchester United somewhere, but I think hopefully we can.
I think we might get scored on first.
Yeah, it's possible. Definitely possible. Sometimes we get scored on first too.
We rebound.
Here's something.
This team is, I think that the difference that Arteta's brought to Arsenal, it's different than a Wenger team. Wenger's teams, like when they used to get scored on, they're kind of done.
Yeah.
They were, especially towards the end. If you got scored, they had to keep clean sheets or already be ahead. If they get scored on, they would just like fall apart.
If they get scored on in the 60th minute, you see their heads like, oh man.
Yeah. Arteta's team, they don't give up. They keep trying to score goals.
Yeah. It's just a matter of being clinical with this
Arteta,
which comes down to players, which comes down to lineup, which comes down to play our best side.
They've been scoring quite a few goals. Like, let's look at the results real quick before we're wrapped up. But they're like 3-1, 3-0, 2-0, 4-0, 1-0, 3-1. That's all the way back to Chelsea. I mean, there's a lot of goals going on.
That's a good goal differential right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, I'm sure we'll have some stuff to talk about next week. You know, we got the window closing.
Yeah.
I think they're just probably going to do a little bit more business. It sounds like they're talking about doing more things.
I heard Reese could go. I heard Ainsley Maitland-Niles could go. So.
And Mustafi, I think they're saying.
I heard Liverpool wants Mustafi.
Who?
Liverpool.
What?
I didn't realize that he came from Dortmund.
Yeah.
Really? He came from Dortmund?
Yeah.
He seems. I mean, I didn't know who he was, but he played with Klopp.
Yeah.
So
maybe he'll go to Liverpool.
Yeah, Liverpool want him, and they're going to play him up top with Sadio, and Salah, and Mustafi, the most feared front three in the world.
Yeah. Well,
him being gone would be nice. It's not like he's playing a lot, but again, just to like get rid of the players who they don't feel great either. If like every player, every fan is talking shit about you, it's a little embarrassing to go to work every day. It must be,
Yeah, totally.
Like his confidence can't be. He didn't sign a new contract at Arsenal. It's because his confidence can't be high in a place where people don't like you, really.
Yeah, and you wouldn't want to be there. I mean, good riddance. I think he's never really been. He's been pretty terrible for us overall.
He's been, even this season, like in the cup against Man City when he ducked under it, got scored on by two players coming behind him, and then immediately just like it must be offsides, and it's like, dude, they came from like 10 yards behind you, two of them. One of them could have missed, and then another player was right there to head it in too.
Yeah.
Like, you're the center back.
Totally.
Just that kind of stuff is like, who is this guy? Why is he on the team? I don't know. So moving on would be
great. Yeah. So hopefully we do some business.
Yeah.
A little bit more before it ends. It sounds like they're trying to make some moves.
Maybe
a play. I think that I saw a left back linked to give cover for Tierney.
Yeah, they said the new Tierney. which is hilarious. It's like a player who hasn't even really come in. He's just making his
statement.
way.
Yeah.
And they're like,
Tierney.
"Oh, you Tierney." It's like they're still Tierney, you know.
Yeah.
But then we have Wolves on Tuesday, Aston Villa,
And then City.
yeah, and then Benfica is in a while, but in about a
And
month.
that might get moved or something because of coronavirus regulations. They're like having to sort that out.
Yeah. So we'll have Man U and Wolves to talk about next week.
Yep.
Tough,
And
tough.
Villa, and then Villa the week of that weekend.
All beatable, but all losable as well.
Yeah, totally.
It'll be once again, it'll be a very good statement of where the season ends up.
And Wolves are struggling a little bit right now.
They are. And we have to. We played terribly against them. That was one of the most angry.
We lost to them, right?
Yeah, one of the most maddening games of the season, I thought, because Xhaka and Bellerin really had a world class shit show. And we lost.
Oh yeah, they were terrible.
Had 30 crosses, 0 shots on goal.
Yep.
A true statement of this is not working.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully we can do the opposite next time.
Well, we'll be back to discuss it. What happens? What's going to happen?
We shall.
Well, all right. Thanks for joining us on our first live today. That was hopefully we got someone watching. Join us next week. We'll be back. All right. Thanks.
Peace.
Bye. All right, cool. Let me cancel the live on YouTube now.
Let me just